Silly season is coming to an end and contracts are being announced. Welcome back to Vital MX. I'm your host, Michael Lindsay, and as always, any of our news break or rumor mill features are brought to you by our fine friends at Yoshimura R&D of America. Check them out at yoshimura-rd.com. And yes, this is time for the official news to start coming out in the U.S. Supercross and Motocross industry. October 1st is typically contract day because September 30th is typically when contracts end, except for a couple weird situations. SMX, Destinations dragging out a little bit last year kind of pushed a few things, but we're back on a little bit more of a normal schedule this year. This video is going to be all about the 250 class. If you're interested in the 450s, that video should come out within a day or two of this one, so make sure you like and subscribe. Put out a lot of great other content, a lot of good reasons to subscribe here on Vital MX. Let's start it off with the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad. Mitch Payton's team does not see a lot of major changes as there's been a lot of renewals, but there is one really big departing name. Yes, that is Austin Forkner. It looks like Forkner will be departing the only team he has raced professionally for, and it looks like he will be moving on. We will get to that team very shortly. On the renewal side of things, we have both Seth Hamaker and Cameron McAdoo, who have new 2-year contracts taking them through 2025 and 2026. Both renewals because they have been with the team, of course, priorly. Coming into new signings, well, one's also a return. That's Garrett Marchbanks. He raced for the Pro Circuit squad before. That's who he had originally turned pro for before they parted ways and he went off to ride for the Club MX team for the past couple years. He departed Club MX mid-outdoor season as he already had a deal set to return to the Monster Energy Pro Circuit squad for 2025. Him and his prior team had a disagreement, and they parted ways early, allowing him to take up the last couple Pro Motocross races and Super Motocross for the team. However, Garrett is one of the only riders we're aware of on the team is in this situation that he only has a 1-year contract, we believe. He is good for 2025, but we're not really sure beyond that. Incoming new, in a sense, even though we saw him all summer, is Ty Masterpool. After doing a fill-in gig for the 2024 Pro Motocross season and into SMX, he has been rewarded by his results with a new 2-year deal with the squad. He is good for 2025 and 2026. What about Levi Kitchen? Well, he's good for 2025 because he's on an existing 2-year contract. Why is it not going further? All kinds of verbiage. We'll see if Levi picks up a title in 2025 that would affect his eligibility for the 250 class going forward. They would then figure out if he gets a 1-year extension and then a deal into the 450 team, or however that's going to work out. If he does not pick up a title in 2025, it would probably open the door for another 2-year renewal for Levi. However, like I said, his contract's through 2025, but we don't really see him departing the team after this next year. Just kind of the way things work out for now. And lastly, what about little Drew Adams? I say little Drew Adams, he's not that little, but he did come into the pro ranks and race the final Pro Motocross round of the year at Ironman for the Pro Circuit squad. We aren't quite sure. His deal may be announced this offseason. It may be left a little vague for now. We believe he will continue on in his current Team Green contract, staying as an amateur for SX Futures next year. That schedule will be announced soon and actually expanded upon from what we've heard. And then likely to race the entire Pro Motocross season for Mitch Payne's squad. However, if enough riders on the team were to get hurt, we wouldn't be shocked if Drew gets called up for Supercross. Again, that all depends on injuries. So again, a lot of returning faces at PC, but one really big departing one with Austin Forkner. Let's go ahead and talk about where Austin Forkner is going in our next team. That is the Triumph Factory Racing squad. For 2025, they will be racing with a 4-man 250 team. They have one returning rider in Jalek Swoll, who is on a multi-year contract. He continues on with the team. He helped debut with them this year. However, the 2 riders that also debuted the brand this year were Evan Ferry and Joey Savacci. Evan Ferry and the team parted ways at the end of Supercross. Ferry continued on in outdoors for a privateer team. There are rumors about where he could be going next, which we will get to. And then Joey Savacci was set to also race with the team in 2025, but due to the fact that the team will not race their 450 as originally planned, Joey had verbiage in his contract to get out. He will instead be moving to a 450 team, the Firepower Squad, which again, we'll cover more in the 450 video. So of the 3 riders that started the year, Jalek is the only remaining. Incoming is Jordan Smith from the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing Squad, and so is Styles Robertson. Not shocking that Styles is joining the team. Again, this team has a lot of ex-Rockstar Energy Husqvarna staff, including the person who headed up, Bobby Hewitt, and Styles was an ex-Bobby guy, so he's been brought onto the team on a 2-year contract. And then from what we've heard, Jordan Smith is on a 2+1 deal, 2-year contract +1, and he has potential 450 verbiage. And as we said, the reason we're moving on to this team next in the selection is the 4th rider on the team is set to be Austin Forkner. Again, a rider similar to Jordan that has a multi-year deal with 450 verbiage included. How soon could we see Austin on the 450? Depending on those 2025 results and success, could see him on a 450 maybe as early as 2026 to help debut the Triumph TF450X come Supercross season that year. So again, 4-man team, Jalek Swoll, Styles Robertson, Jordan Smith, and Austin Forkner. Speaking of the team that 2 of those riders had departed from, let's move on to the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team. There is a lot going on with this team, as always, because there's just a lot of riders to cover. We already mentioned 2 of the departing, being Jordan Smith and Styles Robertson. Nick Romano is also departing the team at the end of this season, at the end of 2024, and will be moving on. And we also do not expect to see Enzo Lopes back unless he is able to make a medical recovery from the issues he's had with his arm. So we do not believe you'll see any of those riders back with the team next year. Remaining on the team are 2 riders that were currently under contract, that being Hayden Deegan and Daxton Bennick, who are both good through 2025, albeit we also know that Hayden has verbiage in his contract as an option for 26. However, we think his 450 debut may come around 26, at least towards the Pro Motocross portion. So watch this space. It'll be interesting over this next year to hear what Hayden's 450 plans start to come about. But he will be on a 250, we believe, for all of 2025 and even part of 2026. Riders who join the team mid-year and continue on in new deals are Michael Mosiman and Max Anstie. Mosiman joined the team early in Supercross as a fill-in, albeit he also got injured himself, and it's been pretty quiet since. We know he still has a deal for 2025. Beyond that, though, we're not quite sure with his situation. It was originally announced as a multi-year. Again, we're just not sure. Everything with Mosiman is always quiet. We'll have to wait and see. Max Anstie has also joined the team on a multi-year contract that he had set before the end of even this year's Supercross season. He joins the team for 25 and 26, albeit he was able to get out of his deal early and race a chunk of Pro Motocross and SMX in the 2024 calendar year. Again, the Brit is now on a 2-year deal there as well. Also joining the team will be Pierce Brown, who is departing the TLD squad. Come to find out, Pierce has been offered a ride multiple times by Star in the past, and with the TLD squad going away and things just changing in Pierce's career, he finally decided to take up that position at Star Racing. He is joining on a contract for 2025 and 2026. Lastly, there is one other rider remaining, that is Nate Thrasher, who has re-upped into a new contract. We know he was good for 2025, and we also believe should be good for 2026, albeit he had to sign a new deal as his current one was expiring in 2024. On the amateur futures into pro side, there is actually going to be 3 riders on their program this year. The first and most obvious is we all seen Cole Davies get signed shortly before Loretta Lynn's. He continues on the next 2 years on a multi-year contract to take him through into the pro ranks. The team has also added, and should be shortly announced, Caden Minear, the Aussie-Australian KTM rider that impressed at the Ironman Combine. He has been signed to the program. He will debut with the team soon. And then Team Green's Carson Wood will also be joining the team shortly when his Team Green deal is done, although we believe he'll be on more of a 125 to 250 deal for the next year or so, as he will be in the B class. But Cole Davies and Minear will be more the premier side in SX Futures as they start to move towards the professional ranks. Again, big stack team for Star Racing. On the professional side, that is Hayden Deegan, Daxton Bennick, Nate Thrasher, Michael Mosiman, Pierce Brown, and Max Anstie. 6 full-time professionals, 3 futures kids, and then a slew of 450 guys we'll get into when we get to that video. As we mentioned with Pierce Brown, we'll get into the Troy Lee Designs Red Bull Gas team. As has been long rumored, Troy Lee will be stepping away from that program. They will not be the factory gas operation in 2025. They will go on a bit of a sabbatical. That program is on ice until they potentially will become the Ducati program in mid-2026. That is all still being ironed out. We wouldn't call that 100% locked in, but it is sounding about 95% likely at this point. So what happens to TLD Gas or just Gas Racing? You have Justin Barcia and Ryder DiFrancesco that both have contracts with the OEM through 2025. So what do? They will become Rockstar Energy Racing Gas riders. They will be morphed into the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory team. They will basically join that team as 2 additional riders, but they will remain on gas equipment. Again, however, a little bit of Rockstar branding. Justin Barcia will remain in Troy Lee Designs gear and helmet as he had a private contract with Troy Lee for that, but he will again have Rockstar branding instead of Red Bull, and Ryder DiFrancesco will basically look like a Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider wearing fly gear on a red gas. So speaking of Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, what the heck else is going on that team? Part of the reason why Ryder D and Justin Barcia are being brought in is to fill some of the vacant slots. On the 250 side, Guillaume Ferris will be departing the team after a 1-year contract. Looks like he will be heading back to Europe to race for an MX2 team. We think it'll be Triumph, maybe Factory Cali, more likely Triumph at this point in Europe. And then on top of that, you also have Christian Craig departing the team. So the 250 side will be filled up with Casey Cochran, RJ Hampshire, and Ryder DiFrancesco, albeit RJ Hampshire will not be 250 all year as he will move to the 450 class on the opposite coast in Supercross and 450 full-time come Pro Motocross alongside Malcolm Stewart and Justin Barcia. So on the 250 side again, Cochran, Ryder D, RJ Hampshire. What about the Red Bull KTM squad? No changes. Tom Vial will try to defend his Supercross Regional Championship, remaining on the Red Bull KTM squad aboard 250, and Julian Beaumer will enter, we believe, the final year of his current contract. His might go through 26, if not through 25. So again, Julian Beaumer and Tom Vial will remain with Red Bull KTM as their 250 riders. What about Team Honda HRC Progressive? Well, same lineup. Again, Chance Hymas hit an auto extension in his contract. He is good for 2025 and 2026 now. And Joe Shimoda was already signed through 2025, but we believe he has also hit the minimum requirements for his extension and will be through 26. Same as the Lawrences, all the way around. Team Honda HRC Progressive knows what they're doing for a couple more years. We do not see anybody being added to that program. It will be a 2-man 250 squad. Moving from the factory side of the conversation into more of the support teams. We're only going to cover a few of these because only a few are really mapped out at this point. Probably the most premier support team would be the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha squad. If you saw the rumor mill we did on them about a week and a half ago, there's a lot of talk about them becoming a KTM or Gas team, but that will not be until 2026. For 2025, they will remain on Yamahas. Cody Schock is there, starting his new 3-year contract. Maximus Volan just got announced. We got to go out with him his first day back on the bike. He has a 2-year deal with the team, taking him for 25 and 26. They have also re-upped Jet Reynolds. We don't know if his deal is a 1 or a 2-year yet. And there still is a 4th and final slot available on that team. And I say this as a very open-ended answer because the team, when we've asked, they've tried for a few different people that have not worked out. They don't really have that 4th spot locked down. They're trying for a few things right now, but we really don't even know what to throw in this video at this point because it is a little bit wide open for them. So they have 3 guys locked down, 4th one still to be decided. The Phoenix Honda racing team is another very interesting one as there is a lot of movement. This year they primarily focused on Dylan Ferrandis in the 450 class, albeit they had Cullen Park on 250 East. Sounds like for the 2025 season, they're going to put a huge focus back into the 250 program and may run up to a 4-man squad on 250s on both West, East, and Outdoors. Names being thrown around, they're the most likely right now, are riders such as Nick Romano, Gavin Towers, Evan Ferry, and we think that their Arena Cross champion Kyle Peters will try to make the entire East Coast schedule work if possible. That would be the 4-man team as of now, albeit we wouldn't completely cross out the thought that Cullen Park could return. Speaking of Cullen Park, he is riding for the Moto Concepts Honda team in the World Supercross Championship this winter. So what is going on with MCR? They seem to have gone more and more quiet every year, and it sounds like it's going to continue that direction. For the US side of things in 2025, we are hearing they may only run Vince Friese and Noah Viney. They're currently on the team for World Supercross on a 250 West Coast only program. Ryan Brees and Colin Parker on that team for World, but we don't expect their deals to continue into US deals for 2025. What about the Suzuki side of things? Well, there's going to be a new Suzuki 250 team. So let's talk about the old one first. The Bar X squad, Toyota of Redlands Bar X Suzuki Racing, will now become Toyota of Redlands Bar X Yamaha. They will continue with some of the same riders and a little bit new. They will have 450s and 250s. Before anybody freaks out, we'll mention the 450 video. Don't think the Kenny Roczen rumor that's been flown around is quite going to work out. Learn more about that in the 450 video. On the 250 side of things, this team will continue on with Dylan Schwartz, Leo Tucker, and Anthony Burdone. They re-signed Burdone early into the year. They've picked back up Dylan. They picked up Leo Tucker to continue. And then they're also bringing an Australian rider, Brad West, to the team for their 250 side. That puts them at 4 riders, but we've heard that Tucker may defer to pro motocross only this year. If so, we could see them picking up one more 250 rider. If they don't pick up another one, they could potentially just have Derek Drake, their 450 rider, drop back down to 250 West. Now, speaking of Suzuki's, what the heck is going to happen there? From what we're aware, a few different teams have thrown their name in the hat, some smaller support teams that want to get that Suzuki support. We think it's going to go to the Wildcat Racing team, which had Evan Ferry and Lorenzo Locrucio this year. They were a gas support team. It looks like they will be taking over the Suzuki program and buying the majority of the leftover materials from Bar X to continue on, including their engine packages. So kind of an easy start system for those guys, but we believe that Wildcat is the most likely to become the new Suzuki program. What about the AEO Powersports KTM squad? They are a factory-supported KTM team, and they will have 3 riders for 250 West in outdoors next year. Ryder McNabb continues with the team as he had a 2-year contract. They've also re-upped Lux Turner along with Talon Hawkins, albeit it looks like Derek Kelly will be departing the team, again leaving them with a 3-man squad, 250 indoor and outdoors next year. The last team we'll cover is the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Solitaire Yamaha squad, which will continue with the same team next year as they did this year, Cole Thompson and Robbie Wageman. These are the last of the 250 teams we'll cover. There are a few more little straggler teams, but not enough is confirmed to really be put in this video. If you ever want to see a full update of who's working for every team, what gear the riders are wearing, where they're rumored to go, everything, we have a full article on our site. It is ridiculous. It covers nearly 90 riders, 200 staff members. You could click the link in our description to check that out. We try to update it every week as we lead farther and farther into silly season. As always, if you like our content, give us a subscribe, and thanks for watching.